Hello, welcome to the weekly live stream session with the Pleiadian Council. We're going to start shortly. The Zoom link just entered the YouTube chat. Okay, so welcome everybody to the weekly live stream channeling session. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. Thanks for joining again this week. If you're new to the channel, welcome. The Pleiadian Council will deliver a meditation and a transmission and answer questions today. And this will happen on Thursdays. And eventually we may shift around the time zone a little bit, as it's getting a bit challenging for me at moments to do sessions in the night. India time zone is very weird. So very far distant from where many people who come to these sessions are, 20 hours. Anyway, so if you enjoy these sessions, great way to deepen in what is shared is to the private sessions. I sent the link, and also in the YouTube chat. The website is dantestarshine.com, and I also do have a channeling course. If you want to learn how to get in contact with your own guides, or to simply initiate a deeper level of healing within yourself and guide others through that process, the Channeling and Intuitive Healing course is just for that. All the information is on the website. And I was doing groups, but I'm also doing it now on a one-to-one basis, that people can sign up at any point and get all of the materials and work through the course with me on a weekly basis, or you choose really the schedule of it, and have it as that private transmission to even go a bit deeper. So you can send me an email about that if you're interested. And I do free program consultations to help answer people's questions about that program. And these sessions that are shared are free offerings to support the growth on the planet and consciousness, and helping people to access these high frequency energies. Donations are greatly appreciated and support me in offering this every week freely. So you can go to dantestarshine.com on the contact and the session tab. All of the information on donating is there. I really highly appreciate all of the support. Thank you for those who do share and understand what it takes to hold the space and to go into this every week. Yeah, and it's actually my birthday in 2 days. So that's exciting. I guess it's exciting. My only plan is to do the ceremony here and see what else happens. Vedic planetary ceremony, which should be very interesting and hopefully bring some good results. Anyway, another
Happy early birthday.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Happy early birthday.
Are you turning 21?
Yeah, 21 only. Shouldn't laugh and drink the water, God. It's actually 31.
So young.
Yes.
Very young.
In many senses, yes.
Well, totally 21.
20. I don't want to be 20. Who wants to be 21 again? One.
Hey.
He's just clueless and innocent. Not
Energy.
innocent. No.
Totally
No, not
old.
really innocent. Naive. More naive than anything. Okay. What else to share? So join the Zoom if you're watching on YouTube, and also feel free to share this, share it with the world, let people know about it. And there's a channeled book that is already out there and probably many more to come. There's others in progress, but that's also on the website. So that just puts in paper so many of the concepts and a much greater depth to what the Pleiadian Council really brings through. So check that out as the guidebook to living love on Earth. And stay tuned as the last transmissions and this meditation also, which will open this session, will be a part of the coming book. That should seem like it took a little longer than usual today. I'm kind of adjusting the Indian time and wanted to land a little bit because I was just out walking through the streets, which is kind of, it's always a trip. Anyway, let's begin. Hello, and we say good day to you at this moment of your time. We are the Pleiadian Council, and we speak on behalf of the Galactic Line, supporting your planet in this grand evolutionary process some of you call ascension. It is a great gift and an honor, a blessing to be able to experience your reality and reflect with you in these ways. So we thank you, first of all. And now we open up with today's transmission, again beginning with a meditation at this time. So if you would like, close your eyes. Sit up nice and tall. Take some deep, gentle breaths, dropping into your body. Focusing your awareness in the center of your chest. Picture there a brilliant star of light. Glowing, vibrating, streaming energy to all other parts of your body. With every breath in and out, every heartbeat. From the star, see great streams of light that go down through your abdomen, through the base of your spine, out through your legs. See these trails of light crawling out the root of your spine and the soles of your feet, going into the earth and weaving through the roots of many other plants and trees on your planet. See the roots growing deeper and deeper, wrapping around crystals, minerals, and metals, going through all of the water beneath the Earth's surface, the natural gases beneath the Earth's surface, the magma, the deep, fiery core of the Earth, all the way to a place that is solid. This is the heart of your planet. Visualize your own heart, establishing a deep connection with this planetary heart. Feel the planetary heart vibrating, sending even a sound, vibration that goes through all of these layers of the earth. And listen to the sound with your body as you feel the vibration traveling up and moving as a wave of energy that starts in your feet, moves up your legs, and enters the base of your spine where it becomes very energized and starts to rapidly move in spiraling motions up your spine, creating ripples of energy that light up every cell in your body. Feel this earth energy rising up through your neck, through your jaw, through the back of your neck, up into your head, and through your face, yes. Coming to the very top of your head. You see the center open up. Picture an infinite thread of light that goes from the center of the galaxy to the center of the earth through your body. Visualize this thread of light getting bigger and bigger till it becomes a huge tube surrounding your body. Through the tube flows crystal liquid light. Follow the tube up and outward. See it travel through your sun, where huge rays of energy descend into your body. See the tube connected to many stars far beyond, all interconnected with your sun, interconnected with your solar system. This energy travels from one star to another. They become like satellites to each other, sending out their signals through their light to each member of this galactic alliance and those yet to come. See this tube finally going all the way up into the galactic center, which is a black hole, supermassive one, yes, surrounded by clusters and clusters of stars. This tube goes all the way through that black hole into its center, from an infinitely small point that opens up into endless and formless white light. Many of you have practiced meditation similar to this one with us before. So this time, our invitation, our request, is that you stay focused on this infinite, endless, and formless field of light. It is this light that is the basis of everything. It has always existed, and it will never cease. It is from this light that all creation began and continues. Feel what happens within you when you attempt to conceive of something that is infinite and something that is formless. These two concepts are the opposite of what you experience in your perception within your physical reality, which is always finite in form. Even your thoughts take form. And when you contemplate this endless, formless life, it awakens a conundrum. How could that be? If this form is all I know. So if you allow it to, this contemplation awakens a deep inner remembrance that you, as a soul, are inherently infinite. That the body you inhabit is merely temporary form for something, the true you, that is ultimately formless. Now we want you to picture this supermassive black hole like the very top of a very large funnel that travels all the way from that galactic center, getting narrower and narrower before it gets to your side. And then finally comes through the tail end pipe of the funnel, from the sun, through the sun's light, into the crown of your head. And feel this light now flow in and move like a waterfall traveling down your body. Simply focus on this downward flow of light. Feeling the whole area of the top of your head activated and energized. Even see the light connecting superhighways of electromagnetic energy within your brain. And then see those superhighways of light, yes, ripple down as currents of electric energy that travel down your spine, down your spinal cord. How often do you contemplate that? That your very brain itself has a tail. Can you feel that tail now alive, descending through your body? Everything below being lit up and energized and moved, controlled by what takes place above. You may think of this brain of yours as a command center. Though if that which takes place above affects all that happens below, as above, so below. Your brain itself has an even higher control center in spirit, in this light. And through this light, you incarnated as the very specific being you are, the very specific time you chose to arrive. You are a unique expression of this light. And yet, nonetheless, you are nothing but this light. And in the presence of light, thought can be transformed. as you focus on the light. Allow all else to fade into it. Remember that darkness doesn't really exist. The only darkness that exists is a shadow. It's created by something blocking the light. When you experience nighttime, it is the earth itself that is blocking the light. There is no absence of light. And if everything is made of light, it is the light blocking itself that creates shadow. And thus, you exist within the dance of darkness and light, of illusion and reality. And so we encourage you to remember this. When things feel distraught in some way, it is only so because of illusion, creating shadow. But simply because the light does not shine to some places does not mean the light is not real. And when you recognize that you are the light, you too can shine the light there. All right. That leads perfectly into our topic for today, that is Happy Rebirth Day. Of course, it synchronistically lines up with the channel's birthday, though the message is not about the channel. The message is to remind you that whenever a cycle begins anew, you decide who you are. And that means every day is a new cycle, and every day is a rebirth of yourself. In many of your mythologies, there is the idea of a god, often a sun god, who dies and returns several days later. And some of you have come to take this mythology to be the true representation of God. Though this mythology really points you back to your own true potential. For yes, every single day as the sun rises, it brings in new codes, new information. As we have said, the sun itself is connected with the galactic center. The sun and your whole solar system is moving each and every day through space. You're aware of your rotation around the sun because it's obvious. Though the sun's rotation around the galactic center causes seasons of energy that you have yet to fully understand. It causes cosmic winter, cosmic summer, cosmic night, cosmic day, and so many other sorts of experience. And each day as the sun's light reaches you, your body begins a new rhythm. And each day you get to choose how you're going to live life that day. The choices you make from that very earliest moment in the day are some of the most important that shape the rest of your day. And this is why so many begin their day with their most important healing rituals, care practices for the body, meditations, affirmations, an inner setting of intention, an inner remembrance of priorities. And in this way, you rebirth yourself. You ultimately reconstruct yourself in the way that you see fit. And we want to remind you, it's very much that you are reconstructing yourself in every moment. You are shifting through billions of parallel realities every nanosecond. And so these shifts in your being are totally complete every moment. When you make any change, it is a complete change of the being you are. Yet, so often, many of you get used to retelling stories about yourself. Some of the hardest stories are things that you were told about yourself from a very young age. A belief is a thought repeated. So if a parent or teacher or anyone in your life, even a friend, told you something again and again about yourself, that thought may have become a belief. That belief was never really yours. Though, for better and for worse, you've told yourselves stories about yourselves, and these stories create identity structures. And these identity structures are not inherently good or inherently bad. They are part of why you've come here. Though many of you have developed these identity structures that don't really serve you, but you get so accustomed to thinking, I am this way, I am that way. This is who I'm supposed to be. This is all I am limited to being. This is all I can do. And so you have to examine those stories, tell them different ways, adapt to different situations in your life, and recognize if you have excitement to be a different version of yourself, then you can become that version of yourself. Every moment is that opportunity to reconstruct yourself new. And certainly there are many other cycles that you go through in your world. Of course, the sun cycle is every day. The moon cycle is about every 27 days. And this influx of light affects your inner being. It affects your astral body as the position of the moon and its gravitational field affects you in each of the moon's phases, creating a sort of crescendo at the full moon, where you feel most energetically open. Your mind becomes very open and wild, and you get to feel the cosmic joy, or you get to see aspects of yourself that might have otherwise been hidden, for better and for worse. But it's never bad to see something that was hidden. If it's something that you don't like, that's another opportunity to rebirth yourself, to transform. And we also say that, yes, every time you discover something new about yourself, that is a rebirth, because you cannot learn something about who you are without changing. And so this path of self-discovery is recognizing that, yes, you can seek out many teachers, though the mirror reflection of your life manifests in every moment is the ultimate teacher, expanding your self-awareness. Yet it is only minds who inquire about themselves that get to witness themselves within the mirror reflection and thus transform. And of course, the cycles happen every year. And, there are many other cycles of time that signal shift within you. Change is the only constant in the world. So this is why it is most helpful to recognize this potential for you to transform, for you to rebirth yourself, for you to be a version of yourself that you never conceived of before. And this is one of the greatest gifts of incarnating in the first place. And the cycle of incarnation is another vast way that you get to be a new version of that same oversoul in different times and spaces. So expand your sense of who you are and all that you can be, and recognize the moment of transformation is now. And use those starts of your day to remind yourself of that. And we encourage you to every day focus on an aspect of that meditation we just did, where you picture that huge funnel of energy, taking in all of the cosmic information, siphoning it into your sun, and from there, allowing it to descend in your crown. When you wake up, recognize, yes, here I am, on the same bed that I went to sleep on. But this bed, in this whole city, or town, or village, whatever, is in a new aspect of space, is in a new area of space. And in this new area of space that we've arrived at by the rapid movement of our sun and our earth, we're now somewhere we've never been before. And that awareness is hopefully powerful enough to awaken you to that potential. That if now you're somewhere you've never been before, you can be someone you've never been before, because you are vastly changed in every nanosecond, vastly changed by every way that your awareness expands and you get to see and discover things that you did not yet know before. So awaken with this and remind yourself that you have the potential to rewrite anything about yourself that you don't prefer and tell a new story about who you are that you do prefer. It happens through that process. We've illustrated to so many of you of being aware of your emotions and sensations and the thoughts that create their waves. Recognize where those thoughts come from. Allow yourself to integrate them so that you can transform them by rewriting them with new beliefs and new thought forms that you choose deliberately. Not being a victim of your thoughts, not believing your thoughts, not letting your thoughts define you, but instead recognize that each thought is a received imprint from that deeper level of belief. And it is only by deliberately choosing the most expansive, heart-centered, exciting thought that arises in the moment that you get to rewrite that belief, which is nothing more than a thought that you repeated so many times that you stopped questioning. And therefore it was etched into this energy field called the subconscious. And it is your deliberate use of the conscious mind and your awareness of the light that you are that allows you to etch in a new belief, a new idea, a new identity into that subconscious. So stay aware, realize that connection, and energize it every day in the ways that you choose to. We thank you for allowing us to share this information with you. We hope that it is very helpful for you and that it can be something that supports you in creating yourself anew, rebirthing yourself, recognizing that every day is the opportunity to birth a new version of you. So we thank you again, and we ask, in which ways can we be of service to you today of your time?
Hello, great council. How are you?
Hello. We are fantastic indeed.
I was about to say fantastic as well, but I'll go beyond fantastic.
All right.
Thank you. I'm truly astounded with the transmission and the meditation. And in the vein of the same subject, I would like to ask one or two questions.
All right.
In the case where let's say there is a negative imprint from early childhood, yet it is understood that, let's say, the situation or environment had been influenced by whether it is religion or media. It's understood consciously, yet the feeling is still kind of lingering. Is there a kind of, let's say, because I understand the aspect of visualization, and maybe it's me being a tad bit impatient with this. Yeah, what would be your recommendation for this aspect of healing?
So you've asked the question, why so much? And many of you do this. Your world conditions you to think that why is going to solve all of your problems. But why might show you the cause, though knowing the cause is not always the solution. So now ask also this question, how? And you've, in a sense, asked this to us. And what we say is that, yes, visualization is helpful. Though visualization is only one layer of your psychic senses. And so you must then change one of the most important layers here, and that is thought itself. So this carries very much in line with these transmissions around the crown chakra and the observance of thought and the observance of identification, witnessing that it's there, and then recognizing that you have a choice. Whenever you find the negative thought arising, make a choice to rewrite it. So consider this, that your subconscious is much like an automatically organized manuscript of every thought you've ever thought. And the thoughts that repeat more than any other thought become highlighted, and they go into little paper notes that stack up and up and up. And those notes of paper that get the tallest become beliefs. They carry weight. And because the thoughts have been thought so many times, the papers simply slip back into the conscious mind and flow back into the manuscript. So you have to change what is going through your head. You have to notice, okay, negative thoughts are coming up. They're because of a negative belief. So I now want to layer on this positive belief. So I'm going to repeat in my mind thoughts that make me feel different. And we usually say, and we'll remind you that it's often opposite thought forms, literal opposite of the negative thought forms that you think. The most important thing to be aware of is that it is whatever feels better and feels calm and soothing, and very importantly, it feels real. So if you have a thought that says, I am totally worthless, and you jump to a thought, I am infinitely powerful. Yes, we would say it's true that you're infinitely powerful, but maybe you repeated the thought, I am totally worthless so many times that when you hear this notion, I am infinitely powerful, it's almost laughable to you. It is also not real. So you want to choose something that feels a lot better, and an aspect of it feeling better and exciting is that it feels real, it feels believable, you can hold on to it. So if going to that extreme isn't the option, then you want to think, well, I am very capable and I am totally able to live my passion. And that, likely, that sounds quite believable. That's something that your mind can rest with and start to repeat this thought more often. And then once this thought is repeated more often, it will become impressed into your subconscious. And no, it doesn't necessarily mean that impressing this and writing it into your subconscious will instantly get rid of all of the other things that have been impressed there. But if you continue to impress it, just like you would consider all of these thoughts becoming big piles of paper, eventually this new pile of paper of the new thought will be heavier. It will be taller. It will have more weight to it than the old one. The old one can still be hanging around, but it won't be as powerful. And you will make the choice to focus on the new thought that feels better. And so some of you, when you encounter your patterns, you create a new pattern of resistance. It is the pattern of either denying the thought of, no, I don't feel that way, that isn't real. Or it is the pathway of fighting the negative thoughts. But by doing this, you create a new pattern within yourself, one of aggression. It is an inner aggression. It is like a battle within yourself. And sometimes you can gain energy or a feeling of being energized, at least from doing this. Though you must note that by doing this, you are also adding aggression into your field, imprinting your consciousness with that vibration. So you want to imprint and impress upon yourself soothing, peaceful energies. And remember that these new chosen thoughts are what change the whole course of what you do and how you choose to act.
Amazing. Okay, I will definitely, yeah, this is something to focus on. I strongly appreciate the imagery because it definitely adds an emotional connection to what can be done. The piles, and it could even be close to Tetris, the video game.
Yes.
Wow. Then I have a small follow-up question in that way.
All right.
Thank you greatly. Would there be a kind of hijacking of imagination due to certain kind of devices? Because something that I'm kind of noticing is, let's say even during the meditation, a thought would come in or a different kind of imagery would kind of come in, distracting from the whole process of imagination and leading me to reshift my focus onto the meditation itself. Is that a result of some kind of device use or such?
Well, yes, when you use devices and look at images and read words, everything that you take in is also impressed on your subconscious. So when you're reading, all of those words become a part of your inner manuscript as well. And when you're watching films or playing games, everything you see and your inner reaction to it is also impressed upon the inner manuscript. And so we wouldn't say it is a hijacking. It's not like you're opening a portal to another consciousness by watching these films, and that consciousness then has the power to control you. That's very far from true. What's taking place is that, yes, these forms of media have left impressions on you. They've become a part of the workings of your mind. And so there come to be things that trigger those aspects of your memory and your mind to start to play what it knows and what it sees. And if you don't like that, then simply watch other things. Because remember, whatever you filter through your eyes becomes a part of you. And therefore choose to bring in the things that resonate and leave out the things that don't. And when you're witnessing something that you know to be negative in some way, have no fear, because it is your awareness that's taking place in the moment that will filter that information. So it's different to analyze something when you're watching it. then of course, you need to analyze things like the news, the media, social media. You need to analyze other people's opinions most of the time and question, is this really relevant for me? Is this information that I want to become a part of me? And then when you are watching things that are fictitious, films and games and TV shows, soap operas, sitcoms, so on and so forth, because you are already in the natural suspension of disbelief that is part of enjoying such a program, that information is impressed upon you more easily. And that is how things can infiltrate your consciousness. And no, they don't control you, but because it was impressed upon you when you were having very little analytic activity and you were just enjoying what was passing through your eyes and passing through your ears, then the impression is often deeper and there's less consciousness that, I'm being impressed upon right now. So yes, in this sense, it's important for all of you to do some analysis of what you've watched and the information you've consumed and the stories you've told over the course of your life. As one example, we would say that so many of you in all cultures, you have different soap operas and films and cartoons and movies. Yes. And so they shape cultures in different ways. And these notions of relationships that you have across your different cultures are dramatically shaped by these stories that you tell yourselves. And so in your Western culture, you have absurd ideals about what love is, about what relationships are, because films paint portraits of old stories that aren't really always relevant to how relationships need to play out in your modern times. They give you unrealistic fantasies and expectations of others. They make you have these notions of one true love and changing other people and rescuing other people and prince in shining armor and all of these different things that don't necessarily set you up to cope the best with the reality of complex beings and relationships and the intense energy of your own sexuality. So there are many other sorts of stories that you receive from these forms of media. Question them, become aware of them, become aware that you, as cultures, think that things happen specific ways because that idea has been impressed upon you in so many of these media inputs that you received through that suspension of disbelief.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, this unlocked a lot. Great, thanks, Council. I'll leave the floor open to everyone else who's ready.
And our great thanks to you as well. Hello.
Hello,
Oh, we thought we
Pleiadian
heard
Council.
someone about to speak. Oh, hello, welcome, yes, yes.
I would like to ask if soul wish to experience something, so to say, negative or unpleasant, like fear or some kind of suffering. How does it manifest it?
In whatever way it chooses to manifest. Suffering comes
So-
in all the forms that you know in your world: disease, hunger, fighting, poverty, etc.
And what I'm aiming for is that if it is really, if the souls wish to experience this kind of experience, if it is really necessary to take it as a suffering.
No, you don't have to take it as suffering at all. So there's a difference between pain and there's a difference between emotion and suffering. In terms of emotions, suffering is your resistance to the emotions. And this is an area that also ties in a bit with this idea of the narratives you receive from films and so on and so forth, because you learn in one way or another that happiness is good and all other emotions are bad and need to be fixed. Though this isn't always the case, and we've given you the tools to shift out of being limited by your emotions in a negative way. Though perhaps it's important to speak upon this idea of allowing your emotions to be positive in their own right. So some of you are simply programmed to have certain emotional experiences. It's part of your makeup. You can talk to parents and note that some children just have moods from the moment they come into this world. Some babies sleep quiet and sound and exude happiness so much of the time, and others can't sleep through the night. And of course, there's a bit of transference of the emotional energy of the parents onto the child. Though there's also a certain fact of an individual set nature. And yes, emotion is created by belief, and it's all interconnected in this way. Though some of you have a deep programming to resonate with certain feelings, certain emotions. And so these emotions can sometimes be helpful for you. The emotion of anger, for example, can make for somebody who is incredibly ambitious and incredibly protective and incredibly gifted at delivering certain results. They can be somebody who defends others, creates immense change, changes political landscapes. For example, somebody who is sad more of the time can be somebody who is a deeply gifted healer because they have the expanded sense of compassion. They have the ability to tap into other people's feelings and make them sense that they are not necessarily alone. Somebody who is always worried is highly attuned to their surroundings, and they can see things and sense things that other people might not be able to, and be, in that sense, a great reminder for their community of what to look out for and how to avoid certain mistakes. And so in the sense, we've named 3 examples of certain emotions that many of you fall into great resistance to, and you create great suffering because you think that you are somehow not as spiritual, not as in alignment, not as in flow, because those emotions are present. And remember, when we teach you the formula, we never tell you the formula is to feel excited and only excited and use your excitement to eradicate all of your emotions. No, we say follow your highest passion to the best of your ability without any insistence on a particular outcome. And one such common insistence is, I must feel happy in order to act on my excitement, because if I'm not happy, I obviously am not doing it right. But this is a misconception. So we would invite you, if you're finding certain emotions don't go away ever, and you've worked on all your beliefs and you've been able to make different choices with your actions and feel a flow of more excitement in your life, yet still you have these emotions. Ask yourself, in which ways do these emotions serve me? How do these emotions make me more gifted than someone who doesn't experience these emotions as frequently as I do? And you might find there's great surprises and great gifts for you within emotions that you have before considered horrible and need to be getting rid of.
So it comes down to fourth part of the formula. Stay in positive state, whatever manifests, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's sometimes challenging to take some situation in positive way, but I believe this is the thing that we need to learn to take it
Well,
positively.
remember that the universally easy way to turn something that's seemingly negative into a positive is the question, what am I learning from this that I would not have been able to learn any other way? And so the gift is the lesson. The lesson prevents the recurrence of a similar pattern. You can look at the things that happen in your life and notice that all of the negatives are usually not first timers. The negative things that you've experienced in some way before. Or if you haven't experienced the same thing, you've felt the same way because of some event before. And noticing this cyclical pattern is a great way to tap into the lesson. It's a great way to show you that through every loop of this cycle, there's a deepening understanding of what that particular lesson is.
So, for instance, when I injure myself, and I can simply stay in observer mode and see how my body can heal itself, right?
Yes, and you can also ask, well, why did I injure myself? Was I moving too fast? Was I not focused on the world around me? Were there some distracting thoughts becoming an obsession, pulling me out of my focus in the present moment? Because injuries usually are that sort of a thing where they're teaching you to be more present. That's the lesson. Be more present.
Yes.
And so a gift in that is that if you've gotten many small teachings of being more present and you finally learn it, that presence will prevent some of the worst things from coming into your life.
Yes.
Out in the channel also gets these lessons all the time. The channel's always almost losing something, almost getting killed, almost this, almost that. And yes, there's some guidance, there's some spiritual protection, for the channel is connected with many realms that make him narrowly miss very horrible incidents and losses and so on and so forth. And gradually the channel is learning and being more careful. We're not saying that you get this overnight, so don't beat yourself over the head. And take every teaching of the lesson as something that you can have gratitude for. When you can be grateful that you're learning that lesson, when you can be thankful, oh, well, it could have been a lot worse. I'm glad I'm learning to be more present in this small, subtle way, and I didn't chop my hand off. Then, yes, you can continue on. And if you did chop your hand off, then you could say, well, oh, I didn't at least chop my head off. And if you did chop your head off, then you have nothing to worry about because you're out of here and in the light. So there you have it.
Yes, but sometimes it can be like glossing over the things they need to really experience, and with this
we're not saying gloss over it, we're saying be grateful that you're getting that lesson and take the lesson in and then apply the lesson. How do I actually become more present? How do I land more into my body? How do I identify what is causing me to move too fast, to not be aware of the world around me, or to rush, yes, or to neglect my surroundings, yes. We're repeating ourselves a bit, though we're making the point clear. What is causing this frantic, single-pointed energy. And when you identify it, you can rewrite the patterns, and gradually, you get to have that more relaxed approach that comes with taking in the full picture.
So if I'm still in the presence, I cannot gloss it over, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Our thanks to you as well.
Well, I could show up some questions in the chat if
All right.
anyone's
yes,
up.
yes. Let's enjoy
Okay.
those questions.
Then this is from, one moment, I'm picking it up from YouTube. There we go. This is from Sanda. Sanda, hi, I want to meditate regularly every day, but is it because I'm lazy and can't meditate consistently every day? I'd like to meditate consistently every day. Can you give me some advice?
Well, remember that meditation is a permission slip. And permission slips are what allows you to access certain states of consciousness and certain levels of awareness and the power to transform. So meditation, it gives you access to a state of consciousness. And therefore, the point of meditation is to be in that state of consciousness. Though you can be in that state of consciousness all the time. So what do you experience through meditation? Is it a quieting of your mind? Is it the ability to observe and not react? Is it an increased connection with spirit and spirit guides? Is it an awareness of psychic phenomena? Is it a more focused mind? Whatever your particular goal of meditation is at a given time, make that a focus all of the time. Recognize that all of the time you're in that practice of quieting the mind, observing the mind, focusing on higher spiritual connections, witnessing the subtle astral phenomena taking place in everything around you. You see.
Awesome. Here's a question from Kay that was in the chat room.
We will say a bit more before we get to the next question.
Okay.
And that is, now if you really want to have time for a permission slip every day, like meditation, the best thing is to do it first thing in the morning, as soon as you wake up. And it's all right if you need to go to the bathroom and even eat a little something or drink a little something first. Certainly we would say definitely drink water. And if you want something more to wake yourself up, go for that. But then do your permission slip. If it's meditation, if it's body movement like yoga or qigong, if it's visualization, if it's writing, if it's going for a run, if it's bonding with nature, if it's calling in your guides, whatever it is, do it first thing, because then you are also setting yourself up to live in that state of consciousness for the rest of the day. And if you don't have the time, simply do it when you have the time. And if you go through a whole day and it's been so busy and filled with random things that happen and sudden spontaneous meetings and work or whatever it is, then recognize that that is just what has to be that day. But that doesn't mean that you cannot access that state of consciousness. And so one of the most useful things to do for any experience that you'd like to manifest, or any way that you would like to redirect the flow of your feelings, is to remember experiences of that positive feeling. Remember what it felt like after an hour and a half of meditation, when you are in that hectic moment in your workplace or in the city or with a bunch of people, remember what it felt like after you meditated for an entire hour. And even while you're in that situation, whatever it's in, let that background focus be remembering what it felt like after an hour of meditation, remembering how you function after that experience. Or if you're feeling a bit stressed out and you want to be reminded of love, remember the most loving bonds you've ever had with another person and how that felt like in your body. And we say as well, when you are finding yourself in one of these peak surreal experiences that you love so much, encourage yourself to make particular awareness of everything you're feeling and what that sensation is like and what thoughts do you think when you're in that heightened state of consciousness. Even ask your guides to give you a symbol that would remind you of that state of consciousness. So when you're in another moment, wishing to achieve that high vibration again, you can remember that feeling even more clearly, because when you had the feeling, you made a conscious effort to bring into all of your awareness what it really felt like and create a memory that is focused, like taking an inner note, favoriting a page on your inner timeline, you could say. Yes. Then when you remember, you call that feeling back in. You, even in the moment that might be a bit more disruptive, make the space to connect across time and space to truly bring that frequency into the here and now.
That is wonderful. Then let me follow up with a question in the chat.
All right.
It is from Kay. Hello, Pleiadians. I need your help to understand why I'm having extreme eczema, please. I need a light code or healing to heal my teeth too. Sorry for asking. Thank you.
The eczema is a stressed out root chakra. The stressed out root chakra is unprocessed survival fear and a feeling of not belonging, a feeling of having to hide yourself some of the time. So you need to work on being more grounded in your body, focusing more on that root chakra, feeling yourself connected to the earth, even walking barefoot sometimes, sitting with your back against the trees sometimes, holding the trees, reminding yourself that you don't really need that much to survive, reminding yourself that you are part of an interconnected world. So it's okay to relax, allowing yourself to restore a deep sense of safety. Now, this eczema, yes, is very much connected with stress, and it is secondarily connected with diet. So a good and thorough detox can be helpful. Avoiding foods that impair your digestion is very helpful. Stress levels will be lower and skin issues will be much less when the digestion and elimination flows very smoothly and effortlessly, enjoyably even. The other issue with teeth. So yes, in this sense, skin is what is coming out. You think that things only come out the bottom end of your body, but actually the skin is this very interesting part of your body. Things come in your mouth, they come in your eyes, they come in your nose and your ears. They come out your butt and your genitals. But also things come into your skin and out of your skin all the time. So you can notice that the skin again has to do with a fear of boundaries around you. Some of the survival fear might be due to taking in heavy energies or having taken in heavy energies in the past and being afraid of doing so, therefore being ungrounded. And so the teeth, yes, this is about energy coming in, food coming in. If stress is inspiring styles of eating, then it's important to look at that. You must brush your teeth very often. You must not grind them there, and to not grind them, relax, yes. And also watch out for those stress levels, because that will cause and inspire eating habits that will cause issues with the teeth.
Awesome. And here's a question from Jeff Yeo. Thanks, Pleiadian Council. While meditating, the right chest on the other side of my physical heart opens, and I feel a certain cool energy sensation, as if the energy path on that point was open. Would concentrating on the feeling of my spiritual heart be more helpful in expanding my consciousness than concentrating on my whole body energy sensation? Could you explain it?
Oh yes, most certainly. The spiritual heart is that, again, slightly to the right side of the body. Again, the heart, the physical heart is slightly to the left, and therefore it leaves a sort of empty space slightly to the right. And this empty space is like the mirror image of the heart. It is at that subtle level where there is an etheric heart that is the duplicate of the physical heart, and the reverse image of the physical heart that is anchored in the right side of your body. And this center opens very powerfully when you are deeply connected to the other side, and your sense of being in connection with source and in connection with invisible realms raises to very high levels. And yes, you can allow this energy to ripple through your body, to expand through your body, picturing usually, again, that energy in the center of the chest is what allows for the unification between the physical heart and the spiritual heart. And so you can focus on energy flowing from this physical heart, spiritual heart, or the heart center in between the two through the rest of your body in different moments, whichever one feels most active. Yes, allow it to circulate through your body, because again, the heart is the center of circulation. And this is where energies that come into your being then spread through your being.
Awesome. That is it for the chat room questions. Opening up for the
All
Zoom
right.
floor.
Is that all for today?
Seems the Zoom's a bit quiet, but your amazing introduction was just keeping us speechless.
All right, we hope that's the case then, yes. We'll give a couple more seconds. And we suppose that will be the end of the transmission then. So we thank all of you for tuning in.
Maybe, could I technically ask one last question, if I
All right,
may?
Tom. Yes.
It is stretching it, but you guys have opened up something quite fantastic within. Art as channeling. Is there, when a person does art and let's say someone, what is shared through art? What is it, a frequency? Is it
Yes.
like what is shared through art?
It is a frequency. So much goes into art depending on the medium. An image can share so many different energies at once. It is interpreted a different way in the eyes of each beholder. A story contains all sorts of different vibrations, a film even more. So yes, an energy signature is imprinted, the intent of the artist who created it, the frequency that they were attuned to. And of course, it is interpreted in different ways by every witness to the art.
And is it one, would you recommend it as one of the ways to communicate without language in order to attempt to represent an inner feeling to somebody that has a completely different language?
Yes, that is one of the great gifts of visual art, certainly. And you can notice that some of the earliest forms of writing in your world were pictures, because pictures were something that were universal, and easily somebody could get to know that language because it was so, in a sense, direct. So yes, pictures communicate so much. As you say in your world, in picture, it says 1,000 words.
So there was an amazing understanding that came true because of a dream with your involvement in there, your collective involvement, or maybe it was another group. There was this aspect that, or this sense that seeing that happiness changes our cell, changes our DNA, and also kicks in the cycle of synchronicity and intuition, kicks a whole new momentum. What kind of came true is this aspect that, yes, every output, whether it be art, drawn art, portraits, pictures, music, all of this just keeps sharing both the inner resonance, as you've mentioned, the frequencies that you mentioned, but also helps the collective. It's like it heightens that feeling, that healing in the moment.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, this is something to keep in mind for just continuously. Thank you.
Art heals your world. Remember, we've said much about this in the guidebook already to Living Love on Earth, that you need art for heart. And so as somebody puts their heart into art, that frequency is received by many others and inspires and awakens people to go beyond what they conceive of as normal and consider new ideas. Art is, again, what shapes your world. Again, let's take it back to what we were speaking about earlier, that you get so many impressions and ideas and beliefs through the media, not just the media, even more so through the movies and films and programs you watch, especially those you watch when you're young. If these things teach you how to see the world, that can tell you how powerful art is. And so it takes new kinds of art to gradually reprogram the cultures for you to live in a different kind of world that sees things in a totally different way. Remember that if you were programmed by these different films and movies and so on and so forth, then when you create art and expression, especially those things that transport people outside of their own sense of reality, you are imprinting their consciousness in the same way. And so you are a part of, if you choose to be an artist or a creator of some kind, the structuring of a new consciousness in a new world.
Massive thank you. Massive love your way.
Thank you. And massive, yes, and infinite, really, it is infinite love that we send to you. We thank you again as well for this co-creation, this interaction. It has been a gift, a blessing, and a joy for us. So we look forward to interacting with you in the ways that you may want to communicate directly with us. And if you choose to connect through this channel again, we would be happy to see you then, and we'll look forward to it, we'll say. Have a great day, or night, or evening, or morning, whatever it is. All right.
Holy shit, that was amazing. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Dante.
Welcome.
Yes, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, that's super
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Just a small
What
one.
next?
Yeah, what next? Yeah, it's simple for like
Thanks for being everybody. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Reminder, donations, super helpful, super appreciated. Support the channel and continue to grow. Support me and continue to deepen in what I can offer. As I'm continuing to study many things. There's another thing to mention that Vedic astrology readings are now available. I don't have anything posted on my website, but if you want a different way of looking at charts, contact me about that. They're at a discount now as I'm still diving into my studies. But anyway, support the channel. Send me some love for my birthday. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Kind of funny. How is everybody after today's session?
It's good.
So much going through. It's amazing. It's gonna be a fun birthday in India for you.
Maybe. Bernard X. I don't know if we've seen you here before. Looking through all the names. Just saying hello.
No, I'm new. Hello.
What was that?
No, I'm new. Hello.
Okay, cool. How did you find the channel?
I found you on the last week on YouTube from a live stream, and I decided to join the Zoom this week.
Super. Okay, cool. It just kind of popped up on your YouTube feed?
Yes, through
cool.
divine timing, of course.
Yeah, I guess YouTube's helpful like that. I didn't know that it was getting the message out there, but yeah, you must watch some good channels. Welcome. Hope to see you again.
Wondering up and down.
Okay.
How are you feeling? And everything in India, by the way.
India's too much. I love it actually, but it's like I need to just get better at caring for myself here because it's really overwhelming sometimes. Just so many people and cars and noise. And, I mean, Indian people are amazing. They all just want to talk all the time. They're like very excited and happy people. But it's like you can just lose so much time, like giving so many energy to so many people. And the time zone is a little bit like annoying for me, like doing sessions at night or in the morning. I'm like not fully adjusted to that. And
Okay.
I maybe drink a couple too many chai teas. So.
Oh. Ooh, yeah, that does spark the energy.
10 rupees only, sir. It's good.
Okay, all the best. I've got to move on now. So thanks for
See you,
great
Mike.
Zoom.
Take care.
Ciao, ciao.
Share
See
these
ya.
sessions.
Ciao.
Let the world know about all of this magic that you experience.
Okay,
To
ciao,
everyone
ciao.
I say this. Okay. Bye, Mike. Thanks
See
for
ya.
coming.
Ciao.
Adios.
Buenas
See you.
noches.
Take care.
Or buenos dias. It's gonna be a good day. Epicness.
I feel like it's a different flavor of channeling for me at the end of the day when I'm kind of tired already. More relaxed, maybe somehow.
And it's quite an interesting background too. Like when it comes to some of the cars and the
kitchen. Oh, do you hear that? I thought that wasn't so bad.
no, it's not bad. It's in the background, but it's not bad, you know?
It's not that loud.
Indeed, exactly. Your voice takes precedent. There was one point where, there was a bit more traffic, but hey,
Yeah.
gets me ready for India too.
As you say, it's India, so it's expected.
Yeah. Nothing makes you ready for India except being in India.
Not even Brooklyn, New York? No.
New York's worse. Somehow.
thresholds, man. We make a list of
I mean,
thresholds.
India is not really dangerous. Like, people aren't going to come up and jump you here. It's just like environmental hecticness and chaos that can be a lot to deal with. There's places that are unsafe, and the US is not. Like, people are like afraid of leaving the Americas. I'm like, you're afraid of like leaving hell. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you're afraid of leaving what? Like, you're afraid of leaving this place where anywhere people can walk around legally with guns and kids go to schools and shoot people. Like I don't know why you're afraid. Like, the north of Mexico, like, you're obviously to the south, also met by a place that's even more dangerous, but not all of Mexico is like that, and not all of anywhere is like that. America's dangerous compared to so many places. And of course, there's like more dangerous places, but the rest of the world isn't dangerous like that.
It's
In the
it's
developed
something.
world, you know, and even in places like India. So
Americans do have that. Most of them do believe that. It's
yeah, it's kind of it's
they
just
believe
ironic.
they have an idea that America is better, but we have a lot of problems here.
Yeah,
And
indeed. Okay, I think I'm gonna go now.
All
Thanks
right,
for
then.
being
Thank
here.
you.
Welcome. If you haven't got the guidebook for living love on earth yet, take a peek. You might really like it. And if you have, let the world know about it or post a review. So yeah, reviews really help it. Anyway, I'm done talking. So thanks
Okay,
for
have a good
watching.
night, man.
I'm
And
gonna
thanks
go
again.
rest. I have a session in the morning. Welcome.
all right,
Everyone.
thanks again.
Adios.
Stay
Have a
awesome.
Bye.
try to have a good birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Bye.